Hello, 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 hello. Okay, the challenge I mentioned is not about the challenge of reading or something. It's about challenge of myself, my voice. Like after doing this, after 50 days, or like how my voice, my speaking skills are changing through by practicing or with those techniques. So that's it. Now let me share my screen first. Okay, okay. I think it is visible. The last day I just fall asleep when I was doing the live, but though my camera is always off. Maybe for this reason you can't understand why this was happening. So let me read these portions once again. So that's it. This is the Bhagavad Gita chapter 8. One who acts with whimsically never achieves happiness or perfection in this life or the next. One should therefore perform all austerities, sacrifice, and act of charity in the mode of goodness as prescribed in Bhagavad Gita, for passion and ignorance simply drag one down to the lower stages of consciousness. Herein it is stated that in ancient times all acts are injunctions of Veda were accomplished with the words Om Tat Sat, indicating the absolute truth, the Supreme Person Sri Krishna. This practice, however, is no longer in vogue in Kali Yuga. To the contrary, the real purpose of human life is all but forgotten, and people regrettably live their lives aimlessly, eating, drinking, and merrymaking. Krishna has already said in Bhagavad Gita that what a great man does, the common man will follow. Therefore, we call upon all good-hearted men and women of the world to hasten to the message of Bhagavad Gita and accept Sri Krishna as the Supreme Person. Such a movement in the world and under the banner of Bhagavad Gita will surely bring about the greatest fortune and well-being of humanity. No greater good could be done than this, and there is no greater time for this than the present. The most ideal literature in Bhagavad Gita, which was sung by Sri Krishna, the song of the son of Devaki, the absolute truth is Sri Krishna. The topmost mantra to be chanted is the Maha Mantra, and the ultimate duty of everyone is the service of that one Supreme Person, Sri Krishna. Om Tat Sat. ends the chapter 17 entitled Shraddha Traya Vibhagya Yoga from the conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna in the Upanishad known as Srimad Bhagavad Gita. The Yoga Shastra of divine knowledge from the Vishwa Puran of Mahabharata, the literature revealed by Vyas in 100,000 verses. So next there is chapter 8 in and Moksha Yoga, the yoga of supreme perfection. The final chapter of Bhagavad Gita begins with an inquiry about Sannyasa and Tyaga. Sri Krishna says that sannyasa means to renounce activities performed for one's own personal benefit. The Tyaga means the renunciation of all activities. One at the stage of sannyasa is called as sannyasi. To be sannyasi means to act for the benefit of the complete whole, the absolute God Sri Krishna. A sannyasi performs all type of actions but doesn't only in bhakti yoga in the service of Krishna. The social structure of the Bhakti Yoga community is divided into four spiritual orders: Brahmacharya, Garhastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. All these are to study the Vedic literature. Additionally, their duties are as follows: the Brahmacharyas are the students whose duties are service to the spiritual master and the observance of celibacy. Garhastha are the households whose duties are to earn an honest living, to give in charity, and to raise children. Banprosthas are those who have completed household affairs and whose duties are to relinquish their wealth, visit holy places, and cultivate detachment. The Sannyasis are the spiritual masters in the Bhakti Yoga community and they are to give lesson to brahmacharis, garhasthas, and banprasthas, to be renowned from worldly pleasure, to be detached from police, and to always be engaged in bhakti yoga with kaya, maya, vakya, jiva, by body, mind, words, and the full surrender of the self. Shunnasha and Tyaga are further described in the coming verses. There is there is a certain class of philosophers and spiritual seekers in India that say that the world is false and that all activities should be given up if one wants to achieve perfection in human life. But this is not the conclusion of Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that one must act according to one's nature and that beneficial works such as sacrifice, charity, and austerity should never be abandoned, for they are purify even of the voice. If one gives up activities out of bewilderment, considering them to be the troublesome, physically taxing, or gives up activities out of laziness, then such renunciation is considered false and in the modes of passion and ignorance. Those who are embodied can never give up action. In ancient times, as well as in our own, there very example of those who have abandoned everything, ran to the Himalayas or to the desert to escape the world, but again returned to resume a life of sense enjoyment or to perform philanthropic activities. When one gives up attachment to the result of one's actions and acts with a detached heart, remembering always that Sri Krishna is the only enjoyer and pro, uh, pro, proprietor of everything, then such a person is a true Tyagi or Sannyashi. Thus, the renunciation of a Tyagi and a Sannyashi are the same. Arjuna is a Kshatriya, a warrior, and he stands with Sri Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra between two great armies. Seeing friends and well-wishers on both sides, Arjuna initially resolved not to fight but to throw down his weapons and renounce his duty. Sri Krishna herein brings our attention back to the battlefield when he says, Hadvapi sa imalokan nahanti na Nibadhayate. He knows he who kills does not actually kill and does not incur any reaction. If Arjuna abandons his duty as a warrior, then certainly he will incur a karmic reaction for karmic reaction for avoiding his duty. However, Arjuna will not actually kill anyone in the true sense of the word because the living beings arrayed before him ready for battle are eternal parts and parcels of the Supreme Person and thus eternal. The Atma can never be killed, and lastly, Arjuna will not incur any karmic reaction for doing this duty. If one avoids one prescribed duties and renounces them out of fear, bewilderment, and so forth, then one incurs a karmic reaction and has to sacrifice in his life or the next. Therefore, Krishna wants Arjuna to give up his weakness of heart and perform his duty. Knowledge, a previously explained means to understand the difference between matter and conciseness. Those whose knowledge is pure and uncontaminated see individual consciousness and parts and parcels of the undivided super consciousness as present in all species and as transmigrating from one body to the next, life after life. In other words, the same Atma may be presented in one's life in the body of an elephant or a tiger, and in the next life in the body of a human being. There are no elephant, tiger, or animal atmas as distinguished from human atmas. One who says that the atma of an animal and that of a human or a demigod are different atmas has a knowledge influenced by the mood of passion. One who has no prior understanding of atma, who is attached to the body, the action actions of the body, who is absorbed in the tribal pursuit of economic development and sense enjoyment, is said to have knowledge in the mood of ignorance. Herein actions in goodness, passion, and ignorance are described. When one looks at the world today, bearing in mind and different modes of action and the characteristics, then it is so wonder that the planet is in such a state of conflict, inflation, depression, economic despair, confusion, and denial. When people are busy exercising their inflated egos, acting unscrupulously and violently towards their following human beings and animals, how are we to expect any improvement in the world? How can there be peace? Therefore, it is the duty of every same human being to cultivate knowledge and action in the mood of goodness that are without attachment or aversion and are free from desire and egotism. Egotism. Life is a science, and Sri Krishna says that through our actions we recap the harvest of our good and bad karmas. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna addressed Arjuna as Parth, the son of Kunti. Krishna also addressed him as Bharata, best of Bharat dynasty. Pandava, son of Pandu, Kuru Nandana, descendants of the Kurus, Prano Par, Parantapa, Pranta, Prantapa, conqueror of the enemy, Gud, Gud, Gudakesha, conqueror of sleep, and Dhananjaya, winner of wealth. Krishna addressed Arjuna thusly to remind him of his position as a great warrior in a distant tree of warriors and to encourage him to stand and fight. Sometimes fighting is necessary if it is for the right cause, but the problem lies herein. Who is to say which cause it is just, who is right and who is wrong, what should be done and what should not be done? In the above verses, Sri Krishna gives some indication as to who is the right mentality and right determination. Sir, clearly those in the models of passion and ignorance are always mistaken, not being able to distinguish right from wrong, what is to be done from what is not to be done, or proper duty from direction of duty. Everyone and everything in the material world is governed by the three modes of the material nature. In the trust sense of the world, there is no meaning of freedom or independence unless one is free from the mode of nature. All such celebrations in the name of potential emancipation are merely another form of self depiction. Where is the question of freedom when our every action is controlled by nature and we are being pushed down the highway of life to face unlimited death? Independence from the three modes of material nature is only afforded to those who have been sheltered of a bona fide guru who have understood the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and have applied themselves to Bhakti Yoga. Only the Bhakti Yogi can truly celebrate freedom. Sri Krishna says that happiness is the mood of goodness, is bitter in the beginning but react in the end. Meaning, this means that to control the sense of perform assumptions, the Bhusha is the beginning may be distressful for the novice, but in the end, that auspice leads to the vector of self-realization. Happiness derived from enjoying one's senses in the mood of permission may be like nectar in the beginning, but it is bitter in the end because senses gratification, unlimited ends, and frustration, hate, and ignorance, happiness that arises from sleep, laziness, and delusion, and is uh, deceptive is in the mood of ignorance because it is miserable in the beginning and miserable in the end. Read happiness only comes when one awakens to the eternal self and the life, a life with one's body, mind, and sense, absorbed in a concise pra- high conscious plans. Herein the status of the Brahmanas, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudras described according to their qualities of their work. These are the four social orders of life, and they have presented in all cultivated cultures in the world. Everywhere we find those that resembles the Brahmanas, the intellectual classes everywhere there are those clustering. Unfortunately, in the modern India, this social system described by Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita has become corrupted and is now known as the caste system, which determines one's social status by birth. The caste system is not actually the social system described in Bhagavad Gita known as Varno Ashram Dharma. The caste system in India is certainly deplorable, hardly better than that of slavery because it limits a person's potential. According to one that Krishna clearly says that a person is to be known by his action and not his pedigree. Although social system having intellectuals, administration, mercantile, and labor classes are found around the world, they are also not the same as the Varanasi system mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. In addition to beginning an intellectual, Brahmin must know what is Brahmin. A Kshatriya must do more than just administrate and fight battles. He must be above corruption, given protection of the people and protection the principle of dharma found in Bhagavad Gita and above all the Kshatriya is never to be an aggressor. He is never to invade sovereign company. The beauty of Vaishyo in other to business is farming and cow production naturally. The purpose of business is to earn a living, but nowadays this has gone far beyond actual necessary as per the advice of Bhagavad Gita. Simple because as a turned into industry. Simple business has turned into massive industry. The establishing of mega multinational corporation, honey holding and fractional breaking. This in turns have led to the corruption of government officials around the world and unfortunately to the destruction of the environment, increased poverty and cow protection especially mentioned in verse 44 have of all animals it is the cow that is most necessary for the survival of the human being. Human bodies thrive off animal fat, and the cow is the animal that provides human being with the most milk, yogurt, butter, cheese, milk, and milk product when given in appropriate quantity quantities provide the human being all the necessary fat required for healthy living, thus enabling the suspension of animal slaughter. In the other words, killing animals or eating meat is not necessary to obtain protein. Cows are protected, then there will be plenty of wholesome milk available for anyone to maintain a healthy diet. The value of the cow of human society is indisruptible and therefore in the Vedic culture the cow is considered one of the seven natural mothers. Mo- These seven mothers are as follows: one's own mother, the wife of the Guru, the wife of the Brahma and the king's wife, the cow, the nurse and the earth. This should be considered as our seven months. Ultimately, the business community has turned to the complete farming and mass slaughter of cow and other animals in the name of delivering health and prosperity to people. In achieving the people have lost their lands and the family farms. There was once the backbone of societies everywhere has created to exist. Industrial farming has been replied. Organic fertilizers with chemical fertiles that render the soil lifeless and produce toxic that is now a and multi uh, function. A society cries for the results of the Bushu worldwide, but government turns a deaf earn and a bite eyes and in the Shudra labor class property is the person who suffers the most but changes is in the year as people worldwide wake up from the nightmare that had become their reality. Genuine answer to their problems for such scenarios, person Bhagavad Gita provides such insight and guidance. In the above verses, Sri Krishna stresses to Arjuna that one's duties are prescribed dharma according to the Varnashrama system should be abandoned. One may think that they are not performing their duty perfectly. I in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna shows an indication to abandon his duty as a Kshatriya. Arjuna has discriminated to fight and was thinking that it must be better to take up the plotting of the stuff of remembering, but Carson did not agree. Now the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna is drawing to the truth, and we also soon see that Krishna has read Arjuna, and with a wrenched heart he will resume his duty with full enthusiasm. Sri Krishna now gives Arjuna an infusion of encouragement by stating that by following his instructions, Arjuna will realize the absolute truth and will enter his supreme apogee by consideringly offering the returns of all action unto Krishna by developing himself to Krishna and always thinking about Krishna. Arjuna will achieve all perfection. The alternative, Krishna says, is that by neglecting his instruction, Arjuna will surely perish. This is the open source of Bhagavad Gita. One who adheres to its message that is free from all material effects and and is delivered by the Supreme Person. Sri Krishna became perfect in knowledge and self-realization. Neglecting Karna's instruction is, however, tantamount to spiritual studies, as Krishna says Arjuna that if he likes that path, he will surely have the of world of bewilderment, illustration, and death. ল্যাপটপ কি হচ্ছে ভালো হলে বেশ ল্যাপটপ কি করেছিস চালু হলে বেশ so in the verses 62 Sri Krishna says that he had disclosed to Arjuna the most confidential knowledge and tells Arjuna to describe upon it and then do as he wishes. But became Arjuna is very dear to Krishna, and because Krishna Arjuna's Guru and well wishes Krishna in gives him one last instructions and assurance. Krishna's final interruption is that Krishna should always fix his mind and upon him. He should devote himself fully to him, worshipping him and offer his respect unto him. This is essence of Krishna consciousness. Sri Krishna says that by doing this, Arjuna will surely come to him. The ultimate instruction of always remember Krishna also stated in Padma Purana as follows: Sri Krishna Vishnu should always be remembered and never be forgotten at anything. All rules and recordings mentioned in the Shastra should be subordinate to these two principles. Padma Purana. In the verse 66, we find the climax of Bhagavad Gita, wherein the ultimate dharma of surrounding oneself fully to Krishna is stated. Sri Krishna tells Arjuna that giving up everything to follow his instruction need not be a case of fear because Krishna will protect him by studies self-surrender. Arjuna will come to Krishna in his supreme abode. The supreme abode lies beyond the material universe and is known as those who are landed as Vaikuntha. Those who worship the Vishnu Avatara as form of Narayana will attain to the Vaikuntha realm, but superior of Vaikuntha are the realm of Krishna's avatars such as Sri Ramchandra in Ayodhya and Vasudeva Krishna in Dwaruka. Those who worship Sri Ramachandra and Krishna's expansion as Vasudeva will Atma to Ayodhya, Dwarakas and um, so Dwarka in Mathura, the supreme abode lies beyond the material universe, and Krishna is all those who are land Vaikuntha, those who worship the Vishnu avatars are superior to Devaka is Mathura, superior to Mathura is Vrindavana, Govardhana is superior to Vrindavana, and Radha Kundo is superior to Govinda. Now only those who worship Krishna's human life from knows as Sam Shama Sundara will attain to the topmost realm because Sri Krishna appears there. Mathura is considered to be the spiritually superior to Vaikuntha. Greater than Mathura is the forest of Vrindavana because this was where Krishna, powerful, wonderful, the stream is left and however Radha Kunda is superior to Govardhana because it is singing with the nectar of divine love of the master of Gokula, which intelligent person will not render service of this planet that is situated at the feet of Govardhana, the supreme enemy of Krishna, is the land of Bharaja, which includes Vrindavana, Govardhana, and Radhakunda. In verses 66, Sri Krishna indicates to Arjuna by the use of the verb Vraja, meaning to go, that Arjuna will come to Krishna, the topmost realm of spiritual world. This superior realm is also known as Goloka, Vrindavana, and describes as follows. I worship Govinda, the original person who is tending the cows in the divine realm, where the abodes are built with touchstone. He is surrounded by the millions of desire and considerations and attention by hundreds of thousands of goodness of fortune. I worship Govinda, the original person who is playing his flute and his beautiful eyes like blooming lotus pearls. His breath is denoted with peacock feather and his charming form tinged with the hue of the rain clouds, so alarming that it enhances milestones of Kipita worship. Govinda, the original person whose neck is decorated with a garland of forest flowers that swings to, to and fro. His hands is hold his flutes are adorned with jeweled bracelets. His threshold bending from the Shama is eternally manifest as he enjoys his various uh, uh, I worship the original person Govinda who is always meditated upon by those whose eyes are annotated with this leaf of divine love. His eternal form as Shamsundara is eternally endured with inconceivable qualities and is always situated within the hearts of his beloved devotees. I worship the divine body of Sveta Devipa, where the goddess of fortune are the loving concern to the Supreme Person Sri Krishna. In that place, if a tree is a desired tree, the land is made of touched on all. Water is nectar. Every word is a song. Every step is a dance. The flute, statuary is friend. Light is full of spiritual bliss. All the things there are most realizable where vast occurrence of the milk continuously flow from millions of cows where time does not pass away, even of half and the moment that rings Goloka Vrindavana is only known of the few self-realized yogis in their world. Herein Sri Krishna says that those who are envious cannot be taught the science of the absolute truth. However, those with the fortitude of Krishna consciousness who study this sacred conversation between Krishna and Arjuna and who reach this knowledge to the non-envious order to Krishna and will achieve performance and attain Krishna's abode. This is confirmed in the following verses in Gita Mahatma at the Vaishnava Tantu Shara. One who recites the Bhagavad Gita, which best shows all viruses with resolute devotion will attain to the supreme abode of Krishna, which is always free from mundane qualities based on fear and lamentation. A person who desires to cross over terrible ocean of material suffering can do so very easily by taking shelter of the boat of Bhagavad Gita. One who predicts the Bhagavad Gita in the presence of deity, Stalagrama, Shila, and or in the temple of Supreme Person or in the temple of Shiva the at a place of pilgrimage on a bank of a sacred river. Such a person become qualified to receive all good fruit, not one endowed with faith who studies and glorifies the Gita certainly reaches the supreme award. The sacred conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna ends with verses 73 where Arjuna says that his delusion and doubts have all been dispelled. Thus Arjuna agreed to follow Krishna's instruction. This is the this is the ideal relationship between guru and disciple. The guru must dispel the delusion and doubts of a discipline by delivering the message of Sri Krishna found in Bhagavad Gita without change or adultering, and the discipline must be willing to follow such inspiration. The potency of healing Krishna's message is also confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam as far as Sri Krishna is the friend of the peers, remove all auspiciousness from the heart of those who have developed the desire to hear his message within his property heard and chanted. Sanjaya has been narrating the conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna to empower Dhritarashtra, and now he expresses his own satisfaction and distress. He says that by remembering the word of Sri Krishna and by sing uh, his beautiful voice. Great insight, especially on the great wonders. Sanjaya then conclude with the benediction that where there is Sri Krishna and the Master of Yoga and where there is Arjuna the sincere disciple, there will always be prosperity, victory, abundance, and Om Tashat. Thus in the chapter 18 entitled Moksha Yoga from the conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna in the Upanishad known as Srimad Bhagavatam with the Yoga Shastra of divine knowledge from the Vishwa Parva of Mahabharata, the literature revealed by Vyasa in 100,000 verses. Thank you. This is the end of. So thank you for all your listening. Stop sharing and